We're bringing the fun. We're bringing the thunder. We are Funder. Flesh and blood down under. Yeah, baby. Yazzie. The one and only.
You made it.
No, hey, if you've been following Yazzie law, there isn't one Yazzie, by the way. Just saying.
Well, you're going to need to explain that. First of all, what the fuck is Yazzie law?
What is Yazzie? What is Yazzie?
So you're Ben, we know that.
Yeah.
But what's Yazzie? Is it the game Yahtzee? That's the only...
Like I don't know. Somewhere along the line, I went a little bit too crazy. I think it was like one of the lockdowns that we had. And like all my videos, there's usually like one or two of me, and I always bring up there's like an editing Yazzie or like thumbnail Yazzie, and one of them's always evil. But it's just something that I can't like keep up. Like I want to do it, but it's like...
But where did the name Yazzie come from?
Oh, okay. So I come from Yu-Gi-Oh!
This is Yazzie law, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Yazzie law. I come from Yu-Gi-Oh! And back in the day, there's a card called Yazzie the Great. I don't know the full name. But this is the reason why the Yu-Gi-Oh! Twitch stream doesn't allow their chat anymore. So back in the day, there's this card called Yazzie, and for some reason it just spiked out of nowhere, and like people need it for their deck. And I commented in this chat, hey, does anyone have a Yazzie? I need a Yazzie for my combo. And like just from there, it just erupted. Everyone was just like, oh, have you got a Yazzie? I need a Yazzie for my combo. And like the mods were like banning everyone and all that. So yeah, from now on, they don't actually have the card in there. So I was like, all right, well, let's name the channel Yazzie. There you
go. All right, look. There has been a huge disturbance in the Force, a bit of a conundrum. Oh. This is probably one of the most controversial topics. It's basically divided the community. Okay, the Flesh and Blood community has been divided. My phone has been blowing up since we heard Yazzie was coming on the podcast. They want to know one thing. They literally, I need to ask you this question. This is fucking serious, man. One question. Clubs or claws?
Oh, club.
Oh,
club.
Really?
Good. Yeah, no, claws is horrible. Like, it swings for 90% of the time. All your cards in your deck is like swing 6 with a go again effect. And then it's like, what are you going to do? Swing for 3 or swing for 5? So usually it's like a draw discard. And then you're either swinging 5 or you swing for 3. You're not going to have an extra resource, like 2 resource to swing for the other claw. And as far as the Blood Rush Bellows combo, it's 3 cards out of your deck compared to like 9 or 10 cards in your deck, where like club is just that much better. So let's go down into the little maths. Pulping swings for 6, and if you discard a 6 attack, draw discard, it gains go again. So if you pitch a blue and you have a Tunic resource and you go swing for 6, draw discard, and then let's say you hit it, swings for 6, you int him 1, use Tunic resource, come in for club for 5. That is basically the actual amount that Blood Rush Bellows does just for playing one of them. Yep. Usually one Blood Rush does like 10 damage, sometimes can do more. But then you're losing all that extra momentum just by swinging with club on your off turns. So club.
So club. So
club.
So my understanding though, claws are the combo. Like it's people trying to do that big combo, right?
So
like it's combo Reiner. It's not what you should.
It has a high ceiling, right? Claws.
If you do the combo thing with like claws coming in for 10 or whatever.
There's only one reason why I would run claws. One, it's against the Prism matchup, and if you want to do copium and try and just like tempo them as best as you can.
You roll scabbies and
pop like
2
that. That's or you have no game plan on how to beat them in the late game, and you just go, okay, let's see if I can see Blood Rush Bellows turn 1, turn 2, turn 3.
Okay.
And that's the only reason why I'd ever run claws. So like back when Viscerai was big, like your only game plan was, okay, I need to just see Blood Rush Bellows. Yep. That's it. Cut everything. That
was my plan
60.
on Kasai. If I don't see Copper and Blood in the Hands turn 2, I die to Viscera anyway.
Yeah. But like I'm talking about for CC. Blitz is just
doesn't count.
Blitz Rhinos.
All right, question 2.
No. I'll save question 2 because I did have 2 very loaded questions. But just while we're on this, like I asked you a question about Reiner. Obviously, you're famous for being the authority on Reiner, one of the OG YouTube content creators, possibly the first, right?
I was the first.
The first.
question
But
on
let's
YouTuber,
not hold that
No,
because I'm also the worst at the same time.
But like what?
You're
like,
not the worst, man.
You're known for Reiner, right? You popularized Reiner, or that was your hero that you basically fell in love with, essentially. So explain that to us. When you started Flesh and Blood, what drew you to Reiner? What drew you to making videos about Reiner? And talk us through it. I'm very, very interested.
So when I first started playing the game, of course we just had the Ira decks, and then when all the heroes were being announced and all that, I was actually going to play Bravo.
I've heard this story on the last video.
Yeah. Well, 2 videos ago. I was actually going to play Bravo, and the only reason why I played Reiner is because it was me and my mate, and it was just 2 of us all planning on playing
And
the
Alpha,
game.
we're talking Alpha time.
Alpha.
That's how far back you go. This is Alpha time.
This is going before the box was out, and we're talking about...
Started with Ira.
So these are spoilers. You're seeing the spoilers. The
as they're
spoilers for
coming.
Alpha.
The first actual spoiler, the first one other than Ira, was Dorinthia the hero, which is pretty cool for you, I guess.
Yeah.
The hero Dorinthia was the first one, the adult one, not the young. So when we saw, 20 health heroes and we thought that was the game, we then saw 40 health heroes. But yeah, so Reiner, so my mate, he was like, I really want to play Bravo. I'm like, I kind of want to play Bravo. I got the long wispy hair. I can probably do really cool cosplays, blah, blah, blah.
Ooh.
We'll get there. And so I was like, all right, well, I don't want to play Dorinthia. And I don't like Katsu because, we'd been playing Ira for so long. It was just another, ninja to me. And I was like, who cares, whatever. So I was like, all right, Reiner. And, once you pick up Reiner, it's just a different kind of deck compared to the other ones. Because you were playing, in a tempo format where all your cards that you played sucked. Because you'd either needed, Intim 3... or Intim 1. There was no in between because all your cards, you're versing other heroes that want to block because everything back then blocked for 3. Nothing that back then blocked for 0 other than E-Pot. So it was technically the worst class, and trying to make that fun was where I found enjoyment with Reiner.
Very good. Well, so before I ask you this question, just remember here on Funder, nothing censored.
Yeah, I know.
We're not going to, don't hold back.
Just keep your clothes on.
This,
want to get monetized.
these podcasts aren't edited, not censored. Hey, you have free reign. Say whatever you need to. But my second question is, I'm going to keep it very short, sweet. Why so salty, bro?
Someone has to be. Someone has to be salty. And I felt like I've always been that. I can't just let people walk over other people because then it just gives the game a bad rep. Yeah. And because I know I'm the person, there is a bunch of other people. I know Fluke always does it. I know you do it in a different kind of way, but you're still positive about it. There has to be a thorn in the bush because if not, you're just going to run through the bush every single time. And whatever. I know, bad analogy, but someone has to be salty, and that's the kind of niche that I like.
There's
and plus,
plenty of salty
Hey,
people.
I nothing wrong with it. I just wanted to ask.
Look, by the way, your saltiness doesn't get on my nerves because you're somewhat intelligent. It's the saltiness of the stupid salty, with the obvious. What did someone do on Twitter recently? I called him out. Someone bigger channel than us was they need to fix Living Legend system because they said it's not there to balance the game. I'm like, hey, dude, James White in every interview he's ever done since people started saying that has said, of course, Living Legend is to balance the game. It's our guarantee. Me. You said it?
I said
no,
that.
It wasn't you. It was someone else.
Oh, yeah, you were replying to someone in my comment chain.
Sure. I'm like, why are you look, whether you agree, that's the thing. You'll have a comment about Living Legend, but people that are salty about something that actually hasn't been said. But there's plenty of salty people in the flesh and blood stratosphere, that's for sure.
I guess
That's why we decided to be positive, because we'll sit in the car and we'll say this is crap or that's crap. Like we love the game, so we have strong opinions.
And,
but
and I guess that's why the reason I'm drawn to you, and I know a lot of other people are, even when you do go on your rants and this and that, we know that it's just from such a genuine. There's something so genuine about it. Like, there's no bullshit. I find when other people have things to say, there's like a hidden agenda behind it. But when you're saying things, it's heartfelt, right? I feel it. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it, but I really feel it, and I respect that, and I think it's good. I think it's good. Keep doing you, man.
So like with my channel's not like a proper channel. I don't upload, as much as I probably should, of course. That's the biggest issue.
No, Fluke's just giving you the death star.
Yeah, I know.
He's like the YouTube genius.
Like I like
it's only because he'll complain about like not getting spoilers, but then doesn't upload for 3 months. I'm like, bro, like you're actually like, I see you as, because we didn't meet for a while, because I think you used to play, but then you've moved around and whatever and work. But I was like, all right, I know who this is. I've seen your stuff around, and you're way more OG than I am. But then you don't get treated as well. But that's also because you literally don't take it seriously.
But that's the thing. I don't take my channel seriously at all, and because of that, like everything that I like try and upload is something that I try to make feel genuine, because at the end of the day, that's what I want. I don't want to make some clickbaity title thing for the purpose of just views. And but no, like there's literally nothing wrong with it. It's just that I now have the channel that I like.
Yep.
And if I want to upload something, then I can upload it. Like, and when I get a bunch of people messaging me telling me to upload, I'm like, I want to, but like, it's just, I can't force myself to sit in front of a computer like every single day of the week and make a video. It's just something I can't do. And if I did it, I wouldn't feel genuine about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not. It's supposed to. It also, you can tell straight away the content creators that do that.
Yeah. And there's
one
nothing
of the big
wrong
ones
with
has
it.
like 1,100 videos now. I'm like, man, no. Like the game's been out for 3 years. How are you doing 300 videos a year? like
I've been doing this for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing YouTube for a very long time. So if I don't want to make a video, I just won't. Like it's.
But it's also maybe finding your niche or what you actually like doing. Because some of the best content I watch, not necessarily just fab either, videos. Some channels that upload once every 3 months, but they upload something very good.
Yeah.
Is much better than. It's like the podcast is once a week. It doesn't need to be more than that. If people, you know what I mean? It's just.
Oh, I don't know. I love this podcast though. And like,
thank you, man. Cheers, cheers to that. Cheers.
Can I cheers my juice box?
Yeah, there we go.
All right,
Cheers. Yeah, John's on the protein powders. So actually, while we're on the protein drinks, big shout out. Look, I'm gonna big shout out to probably the most professional podcasts out there. Definitely a podcast you want to listen to. Say it.
Oh, you talking about Ask Pass?
Yes, I am. And my mate Patrick Brendan has just introduced the fitness challenge. So for all you Ask Pass listeners out there that want to challenge the Timmy to a fitness, if you live in Sydney, I'd be more, and
I'm talking about. Can I challenge you to a wrestle?
Of course.
All
I'm
right,
talking to you, Nick Butcher. And
Nick Hoots?
Yeah, so big shout out. That's a great initiative by Arsenal Pass. They're doing a fitness challenge for the month of July, but it's not just fitness. It's all about mindfulness, sleep, eating healthy, whatever your flavour is, but just be involved. Check it out on Twitter, the hashtag. They've got a big Discord channel going. I think that's great. I just wanted to give them a shout out because I think that's very important. Even though I'm drinking a beer right now,
yeah,
I'm still up at 5 o'clock every morning doing my workouts, regardless, how many beers I have here tonight.
Right there is what the Yazzie cameo on the Tall Timmy channel should be. Is the contrast of you two working out. You go with him at 5 in the morning.
Hey, we talked about this a long time ago, right? Doing a workout.
Yeah.
We did, didn't we, Yazzie?
Go do it. It'd be hilarious.
No, Yazzie does workouts. Don't worry about that. Yeah. He's got some good workouts.
Yeah, I work out. I had to cut down because I had to move and all that. I used to work out in the morning for an hour, then after work do an hour as well. It's just, I do a different kind of workout. I do a lot of cardio.
Because I've seen some old photos of you, man. You were, you were
A big chubby boy? Yeah, I know.
you're a chunky bumpkin.
Yeah, I know. I was very happy back then. That's the difference.
You're cute and cuddly, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing compared to these other ass boys, Fucking
Look, to be honest, out of everyone that makes content on YouTube for Fab, you're the one I wouldn't fight. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah, I come from the
Yeah.
Riff. I come from Mount Druitt. We fight different out that way, bro.
Everyone else, I would like my chances in a
Look,
fight. And I'm like,
Hayden will
that
hit ya, and he'll apologize straight after.
Hayden will be like, we're fighting, right? And they'll do a dance off, and I'll be like, man, what is this? Hayden, what did he do? He does rock and roll. Used to do rock and roll competitively.
Wait, what?
Dancing, yeah. He's a competitive dancer.
I used to be a competitive dancer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Rock and roll?
Ballet.
Well, that's why you two get along so well.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me, Yazi?
No, I did ballet. Ballet
Really?
for 2, tap for 4, jazz for 3.
All right, we did
Wow.
not know that.
We did not know that.
This is the
this is
Yazi Law video.
This is Yazi Law.
Wow, so you were actually legit?
And I did football for like rugby union for 5 or 6 years. I forget.
Solid. Nice.
I was there.
See, he's the Arsenal Pass podcast in one person.
Yeah.
Because Brendan used to do rugby, right, or football. And
Exactly.
then Hayden's the dancer.
Exactly.
You're both.
Yeah, Brendan and Hayden had a baby, and it became Yazi, a rugby dancing.
Yeah, they had to
Also,
get
why,
on.
Ryan
why do you
Ryan
hate
are
Hayden
playing-
Dale? That's what I want to know.
I love Hayden.
Do you? Because you always comment on their videos going, you're wrong about
Because it's funny.
gamblers.
It's funny.
You know what's funny is people don't know that you're being funny.
But that's the funny part.
I know.
Like the people who know me, it's funny, and it's a small community.
you-
If we were a
Hayden
massive,
knows you, yeah.
if we were a massive community, I wouldn't be commenting these things because it would be like, oh yeah, this guy's just been an a-hole. But because it's everything small, you get people who understand, and then you get people who don't understand. And when the people that don't understand comment on my thing, calling me an asshole, I'm like, yeah, no, it's funny, isn't it?
I want to know more about Baby Yazi.
Yeah.
Talk about early life.
Okay,
Like
he's
in-
got
in
about
the
1,000
context-
brothers. Did you
Yeah.
know that?
I've met two of them, yeah.
Oh, you met
the
two
two
of
that play Flesh and Blood, yeah.
Yeah, I met
Yeah.
Ton. Big shout out, Ton of Fun.
Yeah, tons.
Yeah, and tons. And I met your other brother at
Nathan.
the calling. Nathan, he came
Yeah,
up and had
yep.
a chat to me. How are you, Nathan?
No, so I'm more in the, not necessarily all the personal shit unless you want to. I would talk in the context of gaming too, 'cause
Yeah.
we've talked about how we got in, and there's always some similarity. So
I really have to think. 'Cause
where did little Yazi, Baby Yazi start?
Man, Baby Yazi, there's a lot of stories I could probably go down, but I've always been moving my entire life. I've never had just one solid house, split family kind of thing, basically my whole life. I went to a private Christian school.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't recommend, by
that
the
doesn't
way.
surprise me.
So did
actually.
I, man.
Yeah, not Christian anymore, but if I go up there and it's real, I'll be like, yeah, I'm Christian. I went to a private Christian
just
school.
quote
of
a couple
course.
of Bible
of
verses,
course,
you're fine.
It's real.
We just lost all the American fan base. Go on.
No, that's
No, I'm
all right.
kidding.
Hey, I said it's real. Come on.
So
Baby Yazi.
high school was private Christian,
No.
Primary.
Primary.
young age. When do you remember being into the gaming side, whether it's cards or consoles or?
Okay. So, I grew up playing Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Just best game in the world.
Halo 1.
Halo 1
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
Halo
yeah.
2
Sure.
came out on November 9th, and my birthday's November 4th. So my dad bought me the Elite Edition of Halo, and I just played that for years. So we'll go on to the cards, because I started playing card games very very early in my life, but because I lived in a Christian lifestyle, everything's demonic, so you're not allowed to play these things, but I still did on the side. And
Yeah,
then when I
even
went,
Pokemon's demonic, supposedly.
Yeah. So
Paul's shaking his head going, what world did he grow
yeah,
up?
pocket monsters, they're
Yeah.
monsters.
Thank God the Catholics weren't like that.
Wait, they're not?
No, they love demons and shit.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Anyway,
So you started Pokemon.
Yeah.
How old were you?
No, I started on Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh, sorry.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Let's think. I was in my in the Christian school, so probably year 3 or something.
Okay.
So
That
when
your
it first
channel
came out.
started Yu-Gi-Oh as well?
No, my channel started on DBS.
Okay.
So Dragon
We'll get
Ball
to
Super.
that. Okay.
Then like I'll skip a bit. And then for some reason we just started going to the locals down in Penrith for like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mega Games?
No, not Mega Games. What was From the Deep back in the day was Game Traders Live.
Yep.
And it was
Remember
the
that
coolest
store.
place, man.
Yeah, it was good.
It was amazing. Like, you just go down there during, like you just go down there and hang out. They had, like, chairs, they had couches, they had Smash and all that. It was an amazing environment. Everyone was down there. We had the second, well, like, I still say, the best player of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the world go to that locals, or like all the time. And because of that, when you have someone that's, like, really high, everyone kind of just, like, learns.
Yep.
Because, you know, you can only lose so many times. You'd never beat him, but you can only lose so many times. So because of that, like, we all started progressively getting better and all that. Not me, but... so, yeah, there was a lot of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I never played Pokemon, like, to that extent at that time. But after Yu-Gi-Oh!, I picked up Dragon Ball Super. And there was a really brief time period where, like my girlfriend had broken up with me at the time, and then like
Her loss.
Oh nah, man! You have no idea who I am outside this. I'm a
Wild
feral
Yazi.
man. Yeah.
Young Wild Yazi.
So yeah. And like we had a bunch of friends and all that, and like all my mates, and I mean like all my like mates that I hung out back then, just absolute like film nerds. Like absolute film nerds, all of them. Like all of them has like 40K cameras and all that. And so I was like, okay, I want to make a YouTube channel. And so one of my mates, Dean, he was like, all right, I want to make a YouTube channel. And then we were like, all right, let's do it on DBS. The game just came out, and from there on started the Idiots Play Games. So back then it was just IPG. And well, still the kind of the same thing that I am now. It's just, a lot more high budget. We had an actual editor. We had actual good, like cameras and stuff. And then...
And this was about 5 years ago.
This is 5 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it could be 6 now. I don't know time. And like we had a lot of people on our channels and all that. And this was at, did you ever go to Gamezilla?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I loved Gamezilla.
Yeah, same.
The guy who owned the place,
Aaron, shout out to Aaron Nicastri. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I love him. He had to close down the store,
Great guy.
but he did jiu-jitsu afterwards as well.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely amazing guy.
He's got a jiu-jitsu school, by the way.
Yeah?
Massive
Yes.
jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron Nicastri, great guy.
I'm retired.
Sorry, I know. If I
He'll
keep
kick your
going,
ass. He'll kick your ass, man. Just say.
Most people will. They know what they're doing. It's the ones that don't know what they're doing I'm happy to fight.
But yeah, after I became a little bit too antsy on like, because back then I cared about content. I'm like, we need to be uploading every single 3 days, and they were just like we're just mates. Let's just have fun with it. But back then I was a little bit too much every single day we need to upload, we need to do this, do that.
John would have loved that, Yazi.
Yeah,
Someone's
I know.
going to clip that soundbite,
John would have absolutely loved that Yazi of old.
I'm not like that, though.
Yeah, I know.
I happen to be, have the spare time to do stuff. But, there's no way if I had, a 9 to 5 or something, could I do what I do on YouTube? There's no way.
Yeah, fair.
Also, I don't even upload that often. Maybe once or twice a week.
Yeah.
I stream more
I'm going to try and do too. I've just been stuck in my iron lung, the chest for the past few weeks.
You just gotta, you gotta find the content that I race home after the world premiere. There's a video of me running out of the thing with 7 boxes of Uprising. I raced home. Sex wasn't on my mind. Food wasn't on my mind. I had a shower and I streamed. I wanted to. No one's paying me. Even that stream made over $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not the point. It's I want to open it and I want to chat with my chat. I'm doing it for fun. The minute it's not fun, you same as Paul. Paul will be driving to Gosford or whatever, and he'd be like, he'll come up with an idea, or a German soldier give him an idea. He's like, man, I got to film that. And then you know what I mean? You can't just don't hate, because some of the DM Armada, Dice Command, I love those guys, right? I don't like the content where they sit in front of the computer and half the screen's the browser and they just talk. That's too easy. I can't do that content. I can't.
I agree,
Does it make sense? No. There's a place for it.
but it has to be there.
You don't know, but
has
you
to
get what
be.
I mean. Like I would delete my channel if that was my content, because I
Same.
would be like, this is boring. Like I'm reading to you. I'm reading what you can. Like I could just send you the link and you can read it. But you got to find what you like.
Yeah.
More importantly, so Flesh and Blood, you must have started playing in 2019.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I was an early supporter before the game came out, before anything came out.
And what store were you playing at back then?
Still the same store.
Okay.
Game
Traders
Live.
whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
Game Trade. Yep.
And Bowden, so Bowden Tennant from Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the one who introduced it to me. He was like, this is,
Does he still play?
No.
No. Okay.
But we he used to have a friend, or still does, that works for LSS back then. And he, like, Bowden went out and did the pre-release thing before everything came out, like Floats in New Zealand and all that for all that. And
That was
he's
just
like,
an Ira versus Ira thing, wasn't it?
That could be. So I'm pretty sure that was Sasha, that was Brandon, that was, of course, Bowden. I don't know if Hayden went. I'm pretty sure he did from memory. I don't know. No, he didn't. They said they didn't meet up that way. But there was like a bunch of like really early people that went to it and all that. And I think I just like chucked like $50 back in the day and all that. But when...
So when you say early supporter, like a Kickstarter thing?
Yeah, Kickstarter thing, yeah.
Were they on Kickstarter?
No, they
No.
weren't on Kickstarter. It was like just a pop-up thing on their website.
Sure. Okay, you could like support.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Is that where you got those
iron
special
rods.
cards, the iron rods?
The iron
That's
rods.
what Slingshot was. Yeah.
Slingshot. Did you get some of them?
No, never did. I just chucked some money in there. And like it seemed really cool. Like from what we saw back then, like the artwork of the whole thing was just like really reminiscent of like Lord of the Rings and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the biggest, Lord of the Rings fans that I know. Sorry.
Is that fantasy driven?
Yeah.
Like, look at Uprising on Nuts. It's dragons. It's like the fire ninja. Like what they do with the fantasy side. It's like an RPG. Like you compare it to Diablo or Warcraft or
Yeah.
whatever you used to
yeah.
play as a kid.
The way I explain the game is it's basically just Diablo in like
Yeah.
card form.
Yeah. Or people like explained it as like Mortal Kombat. Like it's me versus you. We have heroes. We have abilities.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So 2019.
Yep.
When was your first like moment where you went, because you were playing other games, so you played Yu-Gi-Oh, you had a channel doing DBS. When was the like, because I don't see any content, or I don't see you playing other games.
So I had stopped playing DBS because it was at a point where the game was just garbage, which the game's good now again. So, I still play it
I've
now.
actually gone back to those videos.
Yeah.
Your videos,
they're
yeah.
really good, man.
Yeah.
Like, I go back and watch it with my friends and all that. Like, whenever I have a girl over too, I'm like, yeah, look at these old videos. Don't look at the new ones. They're horrible.
Okay.
You have
There we
girls
go.
over?
Okay.
No,
There we
no.
go. Is that good game? Is it showing the
Yeah,
the
the old
prospects,
content.
the old YouTube content?
100%.
Okay.
It just shows that you got personality.
Skills.
You got
Yeah.
clout.
I don't have clout.
Man, if you went to Worlds, you would have got stopped for autographed and photos way more than most people.
Is
let
that
me
your
tell you.
pickup line? Showing them how many subscribers you have?
No,
I get 1K.
I show my retention. Not my retention. My
Your
my
female
audience.
viewership.
We We're talking about this before the stream. Have a look at this, boys. We're just a. Can you see? that?
Yeah. We can see, we can see it.
100% male, all 25 to 34.
Come on, ladies, come on. Like,
Yeah,
by
Talk
the
for
way,
yourself. I've got a 9% female viewership.
no. So it's more than that. It's more than that.
Yeah.
They have to be logged in.
Yeah, I know.
Because if
I
people
know.
watch you off Twitter as an example, and they do it in the Twitter browser, it's not logged in. And second, like, look, some
But
female viewers.
Were there
like
many
his video.
females playing DBZ and Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, I don't really want to say Yu-Gi-Oh as much. There was, but look, Flesh and Blood's a different story.
Yeah.
Like, it's more interactive and less salty in a way, unless you get into the higher competitive stuff. Like, Flesh and Blood's just amazing.
Well, Flesh and Blood. I don't want to speak for other games. I've heard from Magic. It's like you know, you get mana starved or whatever. Like, it's not you're doing your thing, they're doing their thing, and it results in what it results in, right?
Yeah.
While Flesh and Blood, very, very rarely do you go 40-0. It's like especially on some heroes, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Other heroes, it's very, very unlikely. Like, you usually feel like you had a fighting chance, even when you're playing someone like Hayden Dale, who's like, you probably don't have a chance if he's playing well. You feel like you can get him within killing distance.
You also understand that everything that's on the board.
Yes.
Like, compared to, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Man, I still play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I don't understand things. Like, I try and keep up with it. Like, Dragon Ball Super, you don't know what you're playing around. Like,
Yep.
this, like, everything's on the board. Like, for Flesh and Blood, you go, am I playing around a defense reaction? Am I playing around an attack reaction?
It's more linear.
Yeah, it's linear.
It gets tricky with instance, but then the decks that play instance are like, they play a lot of instance, so you just learn that that's going to happen to you in that matchup, like Kano.
Which, can we sidestep conversation?
Do whatever you want.
There's one thing about Flesh and Blood that has now rooted itself, which is something that I really don't like. Everything is now just like, if you play Brute, you know exactly what you're versing. If you play Prism, you know exactly what you're versing. So it's...
What do you mean by that? Explain that to me. You're playing
I'm
Brute.
getting there.
Yeah.
So it's everything's just like a rock paper scissors format, but like a massive.
Are you saying there's no 10 versions of Brute?
No, there definitely
Is
isn't.
that what you're saying though? Is like there's no surprises when you play against Rhino?
Like, at the end of the day, like, there might be some little surprises, you know, if someone plays as Ravenous Rabble or whatever, but it's still coming in for like 4.
Sure.
It's just like a different kind of tempo. And I like, if there's anything that I could ever say about this game is that, of course, every hero should be good on its own, but they need to find a balance where, you know, if I'm a Prism player, like, there's matchups where I have a 90% win rate, and there's matchups where I could have like a 20% win rate. Like with Rhino, right? Like, I've found I just do not have a matchup against Prism. I lose every single percent of the time. And that just shouldn't be how the game is, in my opinion.
Really? You don't even give a little bit of a go?
No.
We're
Well,
gonna
like,
get
I'll still try, have my best, but I have to rely on scabs. I have to rely on cards like RNG and all that. Like, it just feels so like...
But Prism is the deck that can be played two very different ways. I think Viz in CC was played like, you can play OTK and you can play tempo and you play aggro. I think though, this is like me, and I'm an LSS apologist. That's my brand, and it's fine. But it's my big part is too that they're less than 3 years old and 2 of them were COVID. So I have a staunch like, fuck everybody that has a strong negative opinion about them, because it's a miracle they even exist still. That's how I look at it. So, but my defense for that, I think, from an outside perspective, because I'm not necessarily a card gamer, but I've played games since I was a kid. And I do like the design aspect. I really think they could have gone WTR, 4 heroes, Warrior, Brute, Ninja, Guardian, right? And then gone, here's a set, and all it did was have 4 class cards, and you would have that. You'd have 4 heroes with 4 different ways to build each hero. You'd have a super defensive, right? I think they're doing 2 things at once, and we've seen them fuck it up. No one can argue with that. They fucked it up with Runeblade. They fucked it up with Starvo. But here's what I'm trying to say is, they're going vertical and horizontal. They're going, here's a new hero. Like, we got a draconic... Yeah. Sorry, we got our first new ninja, new illusionist, new wizard, which we didn't have before. So that's horizontal. But the new cards don't necessarily make Kano a new version of Kano. But I think that's going to take a good 5 to 10 years to get to the point where, if Kano has an LL'd, as an example, there's like 4 different ways to build Kano now, because the card pool's so wide. I think like Magic is a much more shallow version. It's colors, right? And then the combination of colors. Yeah. So it's not necessarily... I think it's...
No, Magic's got a lot of depth. No, I say Flesh and Blood's wider at the moment, but they have to make it wide to set the foundation.
So the subsets seem to go very deep, right? Like, they fixed Kasai. They added a hero. I think... what we're seeing is an evolution. It's slow because it's a card game.
Yeah.
You can look back on Magic and the old school Magic players, and maybe like Yu-Gi-Oh, if you've played it long enough, you could probably see moments where there was big stuff lacking that they had to fix. It just takes time. DBS is clearly, if it was crap and now is good, they had to have done something in the design. But I think the way LSS is going, the design's fucking great. Maybe if they upped it to 4 sets a year, we'd have a less of this where you feel like the meta's too long, where your particular here. Because, dude, I play Dory, so same as you. Right now, I'm happy because they gave me a new toy. And suddenly, it's just that one extra... It's 3 extra ways to get go again. 2 of them are in the reaction phase. Like before, if I swung a naked Dawnblade, it's either boots or glint. Now it's boots or glint, or run through,
not blade
or blade flash, which is crazy. And I think it's just time.
I just feel that Rhinar is so polarizing. Like, so many people think Rhinar is the truth in Blitz, like S tier, and then other people think it's fucking dog tier.
Well, Brent,
and same thing with CC. Yep. Like, some people think, I don't think people think Rhinar's S tier, but a lot of people think it's right up there, tier 2, and then a lot of people think, no, it's right down the bottom.
That's how it should be, though.
Yeah, it's like, there's no consensus on Rhinar. In my opinion, it's still an enigma.
I don't think there's that many Rhinar players.
I don't think anyone's cracked the Rhinar code either.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Hey, you were playing Lexi before. You
yeah, hey, I was playing Rhinar and I beat you.
Yeah, you did beat me on Rhinar.
But so one thing about LSS, one thing that they announced was the fact that they had 7 years already planned for this game.
Yep.
So one thing that I was really annoyed with, like when Monarch and what was the thing that came out after Monarch?
Tara.
Aria.
Tales of Aria.
It just felt like they had no idea what they were doing. But when you look at Uprising...
What was wrong with Monarch? We got bolted.
What are you talking about?
The chain meta was the worst meta, I believe.
The worst thing ever. Look at Seeds. How is Seeds a card?
Hey, it's unbanned now. You can go...
I had a lot of fun in Monarch going around playing in Blitz Armories.
So they have... What it sounds like, and from what you can hear from like the interviews, they have 7 years of content already made. So they're testing heroes that came out in Welcome to Wrath and the heroes that came out with that time. But now they're just bringing it out in blocks. And that's the issue that we're seeing. We're not getting heroes that are defensive, like Icelander, or like heroes that can play defensively. We're having issues where, like, we'll get a massive block of aggressive decks, and then, like, you get heroes like Icelander, or, like, heroes that can play slowly, like Dromai and all that. And that's the issue that we have. So once this whole block comes out, it's going to be great.
Well, I mean, the quick and easy thing... I'm going to New Zealand. Big part of that was to actually get some FaceTime with James White because we never got to really talk to him at Pro Tour, which is fine. He was like doing fan service and there's 300, 800 people in the building that wanted to talk to him as well. Where's the roadmap? You know how cool it is when a gaming company goes, look, this is the next 4 years plan. And it wouldn't hurt to go... By the way, the next Warrior set is November 2023. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know.
I love that.
I don't know.
I love that.
I like the unknown.
Yeah, me too.
Look,
I like the
what
mystery.
I'm saying is it's not...
I don't think they need to draw it out because they need to be flexible. Maybe they need to change things on the fly. I was going to
hint at that. We already know, again, like I'm very much a James White lore connoisseur. He did say that Azalea was never supposed to be an Arcane.
Oh, really?
See?
I didn't hear that.
Yep, exactly. Azalea was not supposed to be in Arcane. He said that.
Okay.
Duskblade wasn't supposed to be in Monarch, in Tales.
Yeah, I know.
No, but that's the thing is they're clearly pivoting when they need to pivot. Now, what hero did they replace in Arcane? We don't know.
Maybe it was just meant to be another three
but what
set.
But what I'm trying to say is at some points, like Starvo, he was at Pro Tour, said Starvo when they were testing it was when they were Chain had seeds when they were testing.
Yeah.
Briar had ball lining. That's what they were testing.
Yeah.
And the team and his team are like cracked players, right? They're not terrible players. They were like, it's B tier. It's a fun hero. And he said, ship it. Like, that's literally like how he said the story. Now, what I'm trying to say is people forget that there's so many moving parts. So when you ban a card, like when the community goes in uproar and goes ban seeds, okay, we ban seeds. It does fix a problem. It actually creates, like, because you've planned for 7 years, because you got like 1,000 cards in the mixer, it's just a tricky thing to do. Like, it's a tricky thing to do.
It's not a digital game.
No,
like, there's lead times.
Yeah.
But like, if they commit to shipping Starvo, they have to ship the bloody guy.
Look,
you can't just
No,
halfway through
and
putting the order
remembering
in.
that shipping is at least 6 months before you see the set.
Yeah.
Means if they realize it's broken, they have to realize 6 months in advance before the actual population of the game touch the game. What I'm saying is, it's like I'm not trying to say like they haven't done wrong. James was very clear about like they know where they've stuffed up. I don't think it's possible to do it perfectly is where I take my sense. Like it's impossible to make the game perfect unless you literally have 10,000 testers or AI or someone like something giving you more data than the 12 people that have testing or 20 people.
I want to go one step further. I like when they push the envelope, LSS. I know.
From a design
I
perspective.
like when things get a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Like I liked it in Magic. I liked in Modern when we had Eldrazi Winter. Because what did that do? The Eldrazi set came out in Standard. Modern became broken. You had this deck Eldrazi. There was like 3 different archetypes for it. It was just busted. But what did that do? It made the community... Because we had so many years worth of cards, so I hear we had so many depth of cards. The community had to innovate and build these decks to beat. So there were like 2 new archetypes in Modern that we'd never seen before. One of my favorite ones, Ponza Land Destruction. The only reason why that deck was birthed was because Eldrazi was on the scene. So I like that. I think it bursts innovation. I think it gets people creative. If you have something that you perceive as unbeatable, too powerful, and you have a depth of cards, I think the community, can find a solution without asking mum and dad to help out, if that makes sense.
So this idea is something that I just completely disagree with. And the reason why, this is a hero-based game.
I was literally about to say that. I agree. The best and the worst part of Flesh and Blood is I am a fucking Dory simp.
I'm a Rhino kid.
So the problem for me is I can't just go, I was playing blue and now I play black. It's way more emotional for me that I want to swing a Dawnblade.
Bro,
now,
I was a Bravo boy and I had to pivot.
But no. But this is
not Bravo, Bolton.
Where I have
Bolton,
to
I had
learn
to pivot.
personally is I've learned because I don't come from other games. I'm like, what meta switches means is maybe for a year I got to pack my Dory away. And by the way, that was the closest I've ever been to quitting playing the game was when Stavo was a thing and Dory couldn't play. I was 0-5 in a Pro Quest. I'm like, I'm a better player than this, but I literally am getting smashed in the face. And I have to run red unmovables, which don't work in Dory. Like I can't have 3 costs in my deck. The deck doesn't work.
Did you hear about my story during
Tell us. I mean, not everyone.
Not Monarch. What was the Crystal War?
Sure.
I just stopped playing CC because of Dash. I have that deck was unbeatable. You could not beat it.
Yep.
Like that deck blocked out. It either blocked out or played aggressively and just like set up its whole board and just Exodia'd you. You could not do anything. And like,
sorry, what's Exodia?
Exodia.
Limitless combo or something?
Well, like once you get everything set up on the board,
over,
you just win.
Can I I'm a very new player for card games.
Yeah.
And this is something I can already see, and I know what the fix is, and I'm 100% sure what the fix is. Step 1, you got to play with friends in a group and in a meta that people don't fucking all bring Stavo. You need to call dickheads out. Like
But we never had that in Australia. We never had that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Is in our group, we went to a Pro Quest, the Grim Dark one. No Stavos in the room. That's nice. That's nice. And I will never shy away if I see an Oldham player in Blitz. I see a Stavo player in CC. I will fucking call you out. Will I play? Yeah. Am I rude? No. But I'm like, you're not that good. And I will tell you, if you have to play that deck, you're not that good.
But some good players do play that deck.
No.
Yeah.
But I know it doubles up. Where like if you're a good player, you also need a good deck. Look, I learned that the hard way. I switched to Prism and I suddenly did better than my Dory. And I'm like, this sucks because I don't know how to play the deck and I'm still beating people.
So, but like, here's the issue.
It sucks.
Yes.
But that's,
I don't like that feeling.
That's not the player's fault. And this is where,
But what I'm saying is the real fix till the game evolves. By the way, so there's two pathways here. It's a y-axis. if LSS suck at designing games, this will be a problem forever, and eventually they'll lose players because there's too many things are unplayable. Or you give them time and the meta becomes more fun, which I think we're in one now that seems more fun. What I'm saying is in the middle portions, those 3 months, like you're complaining about, well, Prism we have to deal with for 2 metas now. There's a draft meta where your Armory has Prism, and then the next meta, if it's CC, that's where it's important that people in the community don't just jump on the best deck, because 2 things. If everyone jumps on the best deck, it's no longer the best deck. And second, if too many people jump on the best deck, it is the biggest catastrophe for new players is when you go play an Armory and you don't even deal damage.
But that's how meta evolves. If there's one person, there's always going to be an Achilles. There's always going to be something that can take out that best deck. And if the meta will self-correct, if everyone's going to play that deck, Yazi, what are you thinking, mate?
So, let's say Prism's the top.
Yep.
Let's just say it is.
I don't think it's ever been, even now, but go.
Let's just say it is. Isn't it LSS's job to, whatever
bring it
game,
down a notch?
Just a little bit,
So this is what I'm saying. It's never a notch. It's a wheel. If you turn the wheel and Prism goes down, something comes up.
Yeah,
Which is where I think they stuffed up because they ruined Chain and then Briar. Starvo was too good because there was nothing keeping it in check. And that's also what Prism is birthed from, right?
If you wanted to beat Starvo, just play Rhino. I never lost a single game against Starvo. Just saying.
I can beat Starvo now with the new tools on Dory, but they've come 3 months too late. That's what I'm trying to say. Is it's a time thing, not a design thing.
Yeah.
But
I know.
But look, I'm sure LSS is aware of it because what they see is data. When they see a set's not selling, when they see events not being attended, it's usually not people have run out of money. It's usually they're not having fun. Like,
when did you think Flesh and Blood was legit? Like, you got in literally before day one. So when did it dawn on you that this is an actual game? Was there a moment or an event that you went to and you're like, fuck, this could be the next Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, when did that happen?
The very first calling in Sydney.
You went to that?
Yeah. I have a video for it. I have the very first
who was
announcement.
There? I need to watch that.
It's an hour long.
Who won that? Was that Sasha that won that one?
It was Hayden, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Hayden. The speech that James White gave was an actual legit speech where he's not talking to a crowd. He's talking to the people in the future that want to play the game. Like, I was playing it for fun back then. I was still playing other decks, like other games. And then that's where I was like, all right, dump everything, sell everything, just play this.
Wow.
That was literally the point where I was like, yeah, all right, sell everything. And, then we got the COVID thing. And then, you saw, it still just went through COVID. And I had the most...
Imagine how big the game would be. Like, think about that for a sec. How big would the game be with no COVID?
Oh,
I reckon we would be at 1 million players. Like,
maybe not 1 million, but it'd be massive.
Let me tell you why. Because
I think
the
5x at least.
The meta was so good at the start in comparison.
Yeah.
Like the WTR meta, when you draft it, you're like, oh wait, I can see why people jumped in when they ever touched this game early.
Yeah.
Like even the Ira mirror in
Ira mirrors is just the best things ever.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I don't know what I was saying.
The speech, the James White speech.
Oh, I think that was basically I was going to say, the fact that he just had so much gusto about it. He wasn't talking to just the crowd. He was not talking to the crowd. He was talking to everyone, outside the game, the people that are playing games where they don't like the game. And this is...
Does anyone have that speech recorded?
Yeah, I got the whole thing.
Yeah, I got to find it.
I'll send
I got
to
to watch it. Yeah.
Well, I'll link it below.
Yeah. He was kind of talking to the people that are not having fun with games and just kind of stuck in the game because, it's
their friends and
they're friends, they've got everyone in it. Flesh and Blood's a game where, you can have a deck and it feels like you can just hold this deck forever and then come back to it in 3 months and just play with friends.
Yep.
That's literally what this game is. Not compared to where Yu-Gi-Oh!
You pull it all apart.
You drop Yu-Gi-Oh! For 2 months, you have no idea what's happening.
I haven't played my Bolton deck in months, but I could literally play it. I'd have no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, this is, but funnily enough, because we're contradicting a little bit what we discussed privately not that long ago, Uprising, we're drafting it. It's heaps of fun, right? We're hoping to draft right after this podcast.
You want to?
We're only getting one draft this year.
You want to hear
but-
a shitty take? Go on.
All I'm saying is the subsets are what rebirth your... Like, that's how you have to look at the life cycle of Flesh and Blood right now. Draft set, if you build one of those heroes, you're probably going to do well. Or build a counter to one of those. Like, you got to focus on that meta, and you get to draft and play sealed a lot more. Supplementary sets are where you have a chance for your hero. Like, unfortunately for Bolton, there was no Light Warrior cards.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
it's coming.
Oh, we'll get it.
It's coming. By the way,
He only needs 2 cards and he's going to crush everyone.
No, it's 100% confirmed. I'll tell you why it's confirmed already for October or November, whenever the next set.
Whoa,
that's what I'm
here we
saying.
go.
The subsets are where your old deck gets something.
Yeah, that's when I get scared.
I'm more happy about... I want more subsets for me. Though I just want to see a new toy for Dory.
My problem is you can't draft them.
No, but that's
Yeah,
why
but
they have
that's
both.
fine. That's exactly
this
what
is
it
why...
I don't think that's fine. I think for Flesh and Blood to hang with the big boys, the Magics, the
But again, they've
Pokemons,
already said 4 sets a year,
moving
2
forward.
sub, 2 draft. That's the plan.
I think 2 draft sets a year is not enough. Long term,
Nah.
I don't think it's enough.
You don't
I don't
want
think
more.
people... Yeah, you do.
Do you
I'm
know why
sorry
you don't want more?
Tell me why.
Wallet fatigue.
No.
Wallet
You have...
fatigue.
100%.
Yeah,
No.
bro, wallet
No,
fatigue.
I'm not saying you don't need 5 sets. If you're committed to 4 sets a year, I think it should be 3 draft sets, 1 subset.
That's
Well, if
fair.
they do that, but they do
Because
that,
people-
but if they do that in the vein, but what they need to do is they need to work harder on the design, like Uprising
Yeah.
with generics in it, where everyone like the Uprising is a lot of new toys, a lot of
Yeah,
like
really good toys.
non-class specific, like generic Majestics
Oh,
are the way you
so
do that,
good.
right? Fog down, erase face, like that's what you need.
Yeah. Is that
before-
all you got?
Exactly.
Is that all you got?
Before
I
you
love
give
that
us your
card.
take,
Really
Dynasty
mosh.
is the new set that's
Yeah.
been confirmed. They said it's gonna be the first set that follows because they went like Monarch and Aria. The lore is not connected at all. They said this lore will be connected. That's what they said.
Yeah, look, I'm just a big
And we
thing
know
is-
that where did this lore start? It started with Bolton and Dory and Light Warrior crap fighting Shadow crap. That's how the lore started for
I'm a big
Uprising.
believer in creating a limited culture in a game.
Mm.
I think it's gonna. I think having a strong limited culture brings success to the LGS, the player base, the publisher, distribute everyone. I think everyone wins, and the only way to do that is to have more draft
It's-
sets. I think drafting a set for 6 months. I think having
but
3
again-
draft sets in a year is a lot more appealing to my mind to create that culture.
There's one thing you're missing. It's
Tell
not. It's not one draft set a year, because it's just one. So next year we get 2, right?
Yeah, I know, but that's not enough.
But then it'll be once every 3 months you get a draft. Like it'll be a 3-month gap instead of 4 when they get what they want. But here's what you're missing. There's a very high chance. I'm probably like telling you stuff they don't want me to tell. It's just I figured it out.
Yeah, I know what you're about to say.
I think they make money on the subsets and they make a lot less on the draft sets.
Yeah, but
No, because it's the same price box but thinner profile. Like just the shipping and just the amount of cards in it. I think they also to function have to have like the classic battles came out. People were like, oh, it's so expensive. I'm like, the problem is they did a big format box and it costs a lot to ship. Like a case of 12 is like 3 times the case of a booster box case.
And-
So I think the part of subsets and why you'll never see them just remove them and make only drafts is they can make more profit on a subset.
and maybe those subsets in the future will be able to add them to a draft. Maybe they'll
We've
tweak the design.
you can
with-
add a pack plus 2 packs.
and
I
that's
like that
fine.
idea.
And that's a good way. If they don't want to introduce a third standalone draft set every 12 months,
Yep.
just enable the subsets to be drafted. But like add a pack in to the standalone
playing
sets.
devil's advocate here, why not just do that when you're bored? Like why not?
I don't think it's designed that way.
No,
man.
it is, but people were playing it at the calling in Jersey. They did what
was
did they call it?
a chaos draft.
Chaos draft.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like if you really want to play limited and a new set comes out, you just go 2 packs in one.
Yeah, but that's a bit different to having an actual
designed.
legit design.
Sure.
We can play this at a Pro Tour. We can play this at Nats or Calling.
Back to Yazi.
Aren't we getting like? I think the reason why they've done this is because we're about to get Worlds soon.
Sure.
So the actual like they want us to like this is the last season that we're going to have for a while until we have another set, right? So Worlds is at the end of the year.
Yep, November.
November.
I think
or
the
like, I
set
don't know
is in
when.
October.
Are we going to see a wild Yazi
Nah,
in
we're
November
not, bro.
for
I'm
Worlds?
too lazy for that stuff. Well, we'll think. I'll think about it. I'll think about
Man,
it.
we're fundraising for Ryan Bell. He's not in the room anymore. We'll fundraise for you, man. It'll be easy to get you to
We'll
Worlds.
talk about.
We'll get you an invite and everything.
Well, I'll just win one. Don't worry. We won't get plays to drop for me though. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, no.
Okay, we'll get into that soon. Let's keep going. We'll get into that soon. Let's continue this.
But I think what they're trying to do right now, because Worlds is coming up, and the reason why they've given us one draft set for like the rest of the year, basically, is because they want everyone to like grow into this competitive scene for Worlds. That's what I think. We've had so many like new players and like Uprising, like, you know, we now have Dragons, you know.
A lot of the set's sold out.
Yeah,
in a lot of play, like there's more coming because it's not a
yeah.
but it's like you can't walk in and buy cases. I tried. I could get one case today.
I'll get you more if you want. Let me know.
Locally.
Oh,
like
yeah,
in my locals. I know I can get it. I can go on eBay, but I'm
fair,
saying in locally to see stores sold out, it's great. Never seen a set sold out for Fab. Even when Monarch first, like when I started in the game, people still had Monarch first. It was expensive, but they had it.
So like, anyways, what they're forcing us to do is, you know, making all these like I'm not going to say bad players. I'm going to say subpar players. Like they understand the game to get to that next level, and that's what they're forcing us to do right now. Is to like make the not so great players into good players, and that's what they want us to do. Fair. So yeah. That's my really bad take on it, but you know.
So let's talk about concessions. There was a spicy article that LSS released.
What do you mean?
At least they're addressing it. So what's been happening? Tell us.
Well,
explain to us. Why did this article come out? And what is the article and why do you think it came out? Explain to us.
Well, why do I think it can't?
No, tell us what this article was by LSS to give the viewers some context.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
So at the end of this like article saying about
from LSS
on their website, it was saying that, you know, basically if you concede, it's now considered bribery or was always considered bribery.
No, it's the why you're conceding.
Yeah. And you know, at the end of the, like, you know, between the top two players, you know, there was a lot of times where, you know, a player would concede and then they would leave with the gold foil so that they can get their PT. So, my opinion, you know, it's been happening all over Sydney, and
it's been happening everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Like one thing that I didn't notice, it happened everywhere. There was a guy who commented from Austria, and he said every single event has been happening since like Welcome to Arcane Rising.
The smaller the group is, the more likely it's to happen. Americans are like, that doesn't happen a lot, but
stupid. Like, you go to any other card game. I don't know about Magic, but okay, let me give you a case. Billy Break in Yu-Gi-Oh! He went to an event when he went with his girlfriend, right? They were paired into round one, and his girlfriend like conceded. And in the YouTube video about his deck profile, he said that his girlfriend conceded like after they played their match, because they still played out their match so that they could have fun. But because he said that they did it afterwards, the guys at Yu-Gi-Oh! Banned him. And the thing is, Billy Break back then was like one of the best players in the world, and they just banned him. And the fact that like LSS did not do that to any player, it's either a factor of there's too many people doing it, because it's trackable. You can see like when people concede,
how quickly after the round.
After the round, or like, or the fact that, you know, they just didn't want to because it might be hidden.
I think it's more obvious that it's just they hadn't said they would. Now they've said they will.
Yeah,
I think that's where they've probably gone, well, we weren't that strict, we weren't that clear on it, now we're clear. To me, it's the same. It's very obvious to me. It's like, if you're swapping something for a win, why? How can that be?
It's bribery. You're cheating.
Yeah.
Like,
look, I agree with you. We've spoken about this privately. But I've raised this stuff about before even thinking.
I heard
of
it in like the last 2 podcasts
Like
ago.
this whole conceding for teammates and stuff. I know it comes from Magic because, Paul was saying it's very common in Magic. Like, because sometimes if you concede, you wouldn't have won anything if you kept going, but they can. No, but for me, it's still like, I don't think this stuff happens in chess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that's had ELO for decades and decades and decades, and there's a very, like, the people at the top are the top. You don't get free wins.
Yeah, like you go to the Olympics. Let's say you go to the Olympics because this is a sport. This is a fucking sport. You win for money these days.
There is money.
We're training, baby. We're training hard. We're getting our flesh and blood reps in.
I'm not sitting like in my room doing mirror matches by myself, looking at both our hands just for some guy to get a free win to the top, just so he can get his PT
you're right.
invite.
You're right.
Like I did not get a PT invite, and one of the games where like a few of the PTs people had conceded so that another player could go to the top and then for them to beat me. And I'm just like, I don't know,
shouldn't even be there.
You just shouldn't be there, just in general.
Because there's still...
You should just ban hammer. Like,
look, the thing is, there's still a random element, right?
Yeah.
So, like, playing blitz calling, team calling was fun because even though it's so high rolling in blitz, your team skill mattered. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't want a free win. They could have got very unlucky and lost. Even if they're the best player and deck in the room, they could have lost. And it changes it for everybody. For everybody in the room.
Look, I don't know. I think I voiced it the other week. I don't know if I'm 100% on board with, that there's a real issue with certain concessions, okay? But if it is, right, siding with you right now, yeah, it's an issue.
No, but what's
the solution? How do you fix it? Because it's so easy to concede to your
solution.
mate. What, really?
Yeah.
You just did certain concessions. Because you can't prove or demonstrate, you should, like, it's either yes or no. You can't go, you're allowed to concede.
It's so easy, you just don't block. You just don't block.
Okay.
You just don't block and die.
But then,
yeah, exactly.
How do you police that? You can't.
A judge should.
Oh, come on, man.
A judge should.
No.
Listen, man.
We can't put that
let's give another sporting
come on,
example.
come on.
Do you know why the sport of jiu-jitsu has, like, the crappiest prize money? Is this crap. Gyms tend to have, like, their teams are like 20, 30 people, right? They all go to Worlds, and the way they pair jiu-jitsu is they buy club, and then they try and split the clubs up. But technically, you can have you and your coach end up at the top. Because it's martial arts, they just concede. No one watches it. No one wants them to make money because it's not pure skill. It's like, well, how many concessions did you get? Did he really fight you in the entry? Like, there becomes all this, like, but then you start raising, like, with boxing, is the ref in on it? The judge in on it? Like, are people betting? You just go, we're playing for skill, play the game. If you don't play the game, both of you get out. It's there to play. Here's the thing. If you're doing anything that's not playing the game, to me, if you're winning by any other means, it's cheating. Any other means,
100%.
Because at the end of the day,
it's putting that pressure on the judges to police every single match and every single job. It's too much.
No. But it's sorry.
Yeah, how
but
can they do that? It's impossible.
Paul. But no one makes rules around. You can police them. A rule's a rule. If I see someone next to me full whack, not blocking, passing, they're cheating. Like, I'll call a judge.
Yeah,
well, what happens if they've just got a crack hand and they want to take it all?
You can't, but you're getting into,
I don't know,
like...
you open up Pandora box.
No, you're not. It's the opposite. You go, if you want to cheat, you're going to have to try harder, but don't cheat, obviously, because that's what's happening right now, is people will openly stand up, leave their chairs. I'm like, you guys done? He's like, yeah, he conceded. I'm like...
How?
Huh? Especially when it's two of the best players in the game, in the room. Like, what do you mean?
But they were allowed to do that. That wasn't cheating before.
I'm saying
no. It was.
Was it really?
Of course, it's cheating.
I thought you could redistribute prizes.
But that was never.
You're talking about a game. The game. The concession, and I brought this up, the spirit of allowing to concede is because you can tell you're going to lose, whether that be all your actual win conditions are in the graveyard, you have to block with them. Sometimes you know against Older when you have 2 cards left that you're not going to win.
So you can't discuss. So what you're saying now is with the rule change, because it was happening
Can't
before.
discuss it.
But before you could discuss redistribution before your match.
if a player-
Before your match.
Was that in the rules?
Yes, you could. You could do it before the match started, not during. As soon as the match starts, that's it. There's no discussing.
I must say, if I got to top 2, and if a player ever came to me
And asked.
I'd be like, Judge, this guy's bribing
And
me.
you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, and
You were always allowed to do that.
Yeah, no, but
there's more to it than that, because there's the social pressure thing. Same as asking for takebacks. It's like, who's asking me for a takeback? Are they a judge? Are they a head judge?
But they will always ask before the game starts, Yazi, so they
Sure.
don't get in trouble.
doesn't matter. No, they will get in trouble.
Not
That's
before the game
bribery.
starts.
That's literally what bribery is. You can't bribe during.
No,
the
they
game.
won't bribe. How the conversations go. Because again, in Magic, you couldn't bribe. But what someone will say before the game starts is, they say, "Are you interested in a prize distribution?"
Yeah, and
You
I'd
can't
say
call
judge.
it. No, but okay, fine.
You can.
I'd call a
Yeah,
judge. Be like,
but it wouldn't get your opponent in trouble.
Imagine.
but it never happened. It never happened. Everyone was like, "Oh, let's have this conversation." Which
Yazzie, you know what I just thought of? I know it's not the same, as fucking funny to think of. Imagine you do that to a cop. A cop pulls you over and you go, can we can we work something out? It's the same thing. Working something out is not a bribe. A decent cop will arrest you.
yeah, exactly.
If you're a girl and you look at a cop and go, can we work something out, and
But
wink?
here's my
that's,
thing.
That's exactly what that is.
Here's my devil advocate thing. Okay, you're in the last round of Swiss. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Right?
No, I love
last
it.
last
No, it's
round.
fine.
Last round of Swiss.
Content burger.
Last round of Swiss. I'm playing against my brother Yazi. My brother Yazi is live for top 8, but unfortunately he's paired down against the Timmy.
Sure.
If I win that match, I'm not going into top 8, and Yazi's not going into top 8. Can I concede to Yazi? Because I
Okay.
would every day of the week.
Listen, man.
I would
this is-
every day of the
You don't
week.
even have to defend this dude. To me, it's so obvious, because from a morality perspective, there's another fucking victim you're just not
it's
thinking
not
about.
Come on.
No, there's someone in the room that whatever your pairings are, the real winner should win, and someone else might get the spot when you both don't get it. It's like, so you're saying if you concede, Yazi might make it?
No, he does.
Sure.
100%.
But if he doesn't, someone else does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a victim that's cheating. Like,
Yeah.
I know, but I never value my own. This is the thing. I think the difference, a big
But
difference.
he's just playing devil's advocate right now.
No,
he
no,
agrees.
I'm not,
he
dude.
agrees.
By the way, for the audience, we love each other. This does not matter. Also, I'm gonna name drop. I've had this conversation with Hayden, right? No. I have. Listen, like I've had not words with Hayden, but he heard the podcast, and I know. I'm not saying Hayden's done it. I'm saying Hayden has an opinion on this as
What
well.
are you talking about?
No. But no one has cheated. I'm agreeing. No one has cheated. The rule's out now. I still morally brought this up last pod. I'm like, I don't like it, because you can't say there isn't a victim. Especially, okay, let's go Pro Tour. Let's go Worlds. 100K prize on the line. You face up a teammate, and whatever you do affects someone else's chances. You can't tell me you can do the maths on the spot before you match and go, there's no victim.
It's not a victim. That so-called victim is not a victim. That Timmy, okay, knows they're in the bubble, and they can bubble up or bubble down on a bloody, on someone blowing the wind the wrong way.
Yeah, last Pro Quest, you were number 9. You won. You stayed number 9.
Yeah.
Victim. I don't think that would have happened if every match was played correctly. I don't think so. I know there were draws.
But if Yazi might have won his round 2 or whatever the early round in Swiss, then he wouldn't have been in that
But
position.
it's the same argument.
Pro Quest.
If you're gonna go down the route of, if you're good enough, you'll make it. Then if you're good enough, shut the fuck up and play. That's what I would say.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. If you have to get your teammate to concede
that's
to
not
make
correct.
it,
That's
it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
You know.
No, I don't think it is.
But what if you lose to your teammate and you both drop out of top 8?
I don't
Clearly,
think
you
he
don't
does.
deserve to be in top 8. That's the same
I
logic.
still using that logic. If I was in the last pairing of Swiss and Yazi, all he needed was the win, and he's guaranteed top 8.
I'd call Judge.
And if I win, I cannot get
Get me
top
out of
8.
here.
It's impossible for me to get
So
top
what?
8. I would not.
And listen,
that's what
I
I
know
would
you're
do.
doing a favor for a friend,
It's not a it's
but
just,
you're doing a Robin Hood favor for your friend. You are taking that spot potentially from someone else.
Okay, and I'm going to bring the next point.
Sure.
This is the biggest point, which is something that we were talking about earlier in the pod. Living legend. If my
Yes.
hero could not beat your hero, that means your hero should be in top 8,
Yep.
so it can get the living legend points, so it can be banned.
So people may not know this, but Sydney might have.
Yeah, I see that. I see that point of
should have
view.
won and didn't in one of our pro quests, and that would have sucked if Chain didn't living legend.
That's actually a decent argument. I respect that.
It's a
point
good
of view.
argument.
That's actually a good argument, Yaza. Yeah, that's actually good. I respect
Like-
that. That's a decent point of view.
I-
That makes me rethink my stance, knowing that, because in Magic, it wouldn't, because there's no living legend. Doesn't make a difference which deck wins. But you've brought up a very good point that the outcomes of these actually influence the
whole
worldwide,
the whole meta,
the whole
Look
thing.
at Starvo.
So
Do
I
you-
agree. I
do you
agree.
actually think Starvo would be on 15-22? I honestly think Prism should have been banned last format.
Yep.
There's no way that hero,
But
the hero that beat Starvo, did not make
Yeah.
it into
Actually,
Living
you
Legend.
I'm not a mathematician, but I think if you look at it that way, if it's always 50-50, would be easy to do the maths. But then if every time a Prism won, they conceded the next, they were just handing over points instead of taking it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like if it was exactly 50-50 of the player base was Prism or Starvo, and then Prism would always win first because it's a better deck, and then every time after that, the Prisms would concede. You just end up like, you know what I mean?
Look, but then the other thing, I wouldn't have any content to complain about. So,
Look, it's a delicate issue. It's
it's not
complicated.
even delicate.
It's not that it is complicated though. It's
No, so that's actually the
very
opposite.
hard to pull it.
What's the mission statement of Flesh and Blood, LSS? Bring players together in the Flesh and Blood to play great games. Play the fucking game.
Yeah.
No, don't play the second and third game, and don't sit there, because I've had this happen to me. Someone's done the maths for me, look, man, if you concede to me, this is literally what they said. If you concede to me and you win your next, you're in top 8. If I lose now, I can't get in. Can you concede? That's also me. It's not even like a guarantee. It's like I now have to.
Yeah.
No. That's a second game we're playing. I just want to play the game and let the chips fall.
Yeah,
That's how I
exactly.
like to play.
and there were people in Magic like that as well.
Yeah,
But if you look at any pro sports, any pro game where there's money on the line, all of this shit is very clear cut. You do anything like this in poker, you signal to a friend, anything, you're banned. Like it's not even because part of it.
let's get that hammer out.
But part of it is the entertainment which you're taking away from people.
So what is the official rules with LSS? Are you allowed to concede?
I'll in a sec.
Like, can you concede at all?
ELO is also as important as LL is. If the ELO ratings where you rank worldwide is not accurate because you've been giving away ELO or wins, it also limits people going to Worlds and doing that stuff. What's the rule exactly? You've read it probably.
Which one?
The recent one.
Yeah, I've read, but like officially,
It's called bribery now.
yeah, but
Yeah.
bribery. Can you concede without bribery? Could I just sit down at the table with you
only-
and go?
Listen,
I
if
don't
you're
wanna
the
play.
final table and a judge is watching, I think if the judges see that you had a winning chance and conceded
No.
anyway,
The game didn't even start, and I just said,
I don't know.
You win. Can you? That's what I want to know. Otherwise,
I don't
it's a
think
mute
so.
point.
I don't think
Otherwise,
so.
it's a mute point. What we're discussing.
I know you can concede.
Can you concede
if you go
before
into
the-
time? I know you can do that now, but like the concession rule was always. It was always are you able to beat
Yeah,
your other player?
That's right. So you're not sitting down
If you're on
wasting
40,
an hour. Yeah,
I'm on 1, and I have 1 card in my deck, I could just concede rather than play it out. Like it's just to keep
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. So
but
I
can
don't-
you concede before a game starts?
I know that the judge can tell you to continue playing, like play the game out.
That's what I'm saying. I think if a judge is sitting there, final table, and someone's not actually playing, it's their job to do something about
Yeah.
that, disqualify people
Like,
or whatever.
It just seems
My
so
opinion-
hard to believe. People
I
will
mean,
talk.
Why? Just play the game.
No, but that's what I said. Can you concede before the game
But
starts?
you can't make rules that you can, like, you have to be able to police. It's just, it's
So
a
is
rule.
that the rule? So there's no
But
concession.
it's up to people sitting there. Someone asks me to cheat or offers me a bribe. It's my job
It's not
to
offers a
let-
bribe.
Honestly-
You might have had a conversation with your
honestly-
friend 10 minutes before the round started.
Honestly,
by the way-
my opinion, if you concede, it's a disqualification from the event. My opinion.
Yeah, like you should drop the event.
Like that's the
Yeah.
only reason why you should
But-
concede, right?
But is that in the rules now?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Also, maybe someone in the chat who's a judge can tell us. Like, we're going to ask Noah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know what the actual
Like-
rule.
We should probably know.
like that should be the
Why?
only
No,
reason.
but no, it doesn't. I don't. You know why I don't need to know? I'm never going to concede to you, and I'm going to play the game out. So
Exactly.
really, it's such a moot point for me. I'm more worried about my tunic trigger and shit. I'm not thinking about anything else. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to play.
No,
Honestly, by the way, I want to play because it's fun, and the higher rank I get, like if I'm in top 8,
just a caveat here. I've played a lot of Flesh and Blood in the last whatever how many months. I've never been asked for a concession, and I've never given a concession. Okay, like fun fact, I think we spoke about. I had a friend of mine ask me if he should concede, which was weird, and we played it out. So no. So
yeah.
But other than that, I've never had anyone
also like
ask me.
the three of us aren't like super spiky players, right? But we all would like to perform well when we go to events.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you, like fact, Paul, like you went to an event with me, I came 8th, you came 9th by a fraction.
Yeah, but that was a round. That was a round. But
that's okay. Let me finish the point. If that had happened because someone conceded to someone the round before, you're the victim.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have cared because I misplayed against Kano in the
but
bloody
you should
second
care
round. I
because
should have
guess
won
what?
that game, and I would have been in the final
But in
top
Flesh
8.
and Blood, in an event that big, which was like 18 people,
Yeah.
everyone but one person had a perfect record. So everyone misplayed. Everyone lost. Flesh and Blood is a hard game to perfect. Like, you can't go, I don't deserve it because I misplayed. Well, man, if you don't misplay, you'll win everything. Like, no one doesn't misplay.
Yeah, but that was such an obvious bad misplay.
But that's not
it was
the
like It was
point.
like there for the taking.
But
I
that's not-
felt it.
That's
it
not
was
the
right
point.
in front of me.
You're allowed to make mistakes and win. You know, you're allowed. People, like, the guy that won Pro Tour lost his first 2 matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those stories. Yeah.
Misplay, he lost his first 2. He's out. I can name 10 players
might
right
not
now
have
that would have
misplayed,
dropped
though.
the event.
He might have been outplayed or he might have got unlucky.
But I'm saying it doesn't matter. A loss is a loss, whether it's your fault or theirs or the decks or whatever. You still lost. Look, but we don't even have to agree. Whatever the rule is, it's worth educating ourselves on it, especially if you are in a team, there's some sort of agreements. Make sure you're not breaking the rules. Like, at the end of the day, that's the thing, right? If someone I know does it and it's not against the rules, whether I agree with it or not, I don't care. Like, if they didn't break the
And
rule,
like you said, there's a rule and there's a spirit.
That's
you
different.
brought that up last time.
Yeah.
Like, LSS might have a ruling on something, but then it might be like, well, is that in the spirit of the game?
Yeah.
You know?
I believe concessions, the spirit of allowing concessions is to save people mental stress. Like, you might you go, I've got a 50-minute game, we're 20 minutes in, I'm losing. I'm going to concede, go toilet, eat, and refresh for the next one. That's what a concession, I believe, is for.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
It's not to benefit your teammate who you know you're going to beat to maybe bubble them up because you're not. You know what I mean? And what's been happening in ProQuest is people swapping PTRs because they don't need them for Gold Force. So it is $2,000 or whatever at some point. It's a lot.
I think there's only been one in the past 2 ProQuests where it was played legitimately.
That's crazy. Because also, I want to, as a player, I want to see that match play out. I want to see who's the best player around me. What deck's the best deck? Like you said, what's the best deck?
The only thing I like, the thing that troubles me is when I see people say they won the ProQuest, and then I think they won the ProQuest, but then I find out a few days later they didn't win it. They had a handshake at the final table.
There's a lot.
So I just don't know. Not disparaging those people, but I just find it consuming. Thinking,
disparage him. Let's kill him.
No, but I'm just like,
let's go.
Yeah, I'm just like, did Kasai win that ProQuest? Like, that's pretty crazy. Or were you scooped in? Like, it's just for me. It's like I want to know how powerful that deck is.
This is where when there's money on
It'd be pretty
the line,
epic seeing Kasai win a CC ProQuest.
Yeah, I know, right?
it's possible. High striker turn 1 into you could do it. Look, the thing is, we're talking about very, very low end conspiracy between 2 people, but don't put it past when you put money on the line where you're talking people will conspire to keep a hero out of Living Legend so that it's viable the next format. Don't think that won't happen.
No,
for
not
a
that
second.
far.
No. It's possible.
It's possible,
Like,
but
at the high level in a small game, there's only a handful of people with the skill to win some of these events. Like, we're talking under 100 people. It's not impossible to have 20 people have all agreed we're going to switch decks till the next event. You just don't want that in the spirit of the game at all. You just don't want it. Play the game. Let the systems work. Let LSS get the real data so they can balance the game. So they can know. That's why I'm a big advocate. But someone disagreed with me, and again, silly comment on Twitter because their reply made no sense. ProQuest, you win one, you shouldn't be able to play ProQuest.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that.
No, and the guy goes, so they've got to take 3 months off the game. I go, huh?
No, yeah, I'm a big believer in that.
Are there only one ProQuest
there
every
should
3
just
months?
be a trickle down effect. That's what there should be.
What I'm saying is, no, but the problem with the trickle down, one player goes and wins 6 in a row and 6 PTRs get given out, but he won all 6. That's not good for the game either. It's an invitational.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. If you win a Pro Quest in a season, you should be sitting
encourage them to judge, to coach, to deck build with other people and their team. Like by the way, Pro Quest, like there's so many other things happening when Pro Quests are happening. Like it's usually 2 weekends and 4 events locally you can go to. So you're missing out on 3 events. Go play.
That's if you win the first one. It's like yeah. I'm a big thing in that. But Yazi, so road to Nats, are you playing in any? What's on your radar for CC, drafting, uprising, nationals? Talk us through it. What's on the radar for the next few months? This game's gone
really quick. The only event that I've technically entered into is the RC one in Campbelltown. And the only reason why I've entered is because I won an event that gave me a ticket for it.
So that's CC this Sunday.
Was that this Sunday?
This Sunday, baby.
I had no idea.
This Sunday. So what are we playing? Are we playing Rhino?
Man, that's my birthday. I can't even go. I'm a bit cut.
Thinking, like, look, it's either Rhino or Lexi right now.
Whoa.
And I can't.
Lexi.
Like, Lexi's just so strong.
Ice or hybrid? Or what
ice, but it's like, of course, still hybrid. Like, it's just a really fun deck to play. And in my opinion, it's the complete contrast of the decks that I usually play. I play 2
You
defensive.
don't block, you just shoot at people.
Yeah. My like Rhino, the only reason why I win is because the amount of health that I have, like with D reacts and everything. That's the only reason why I win, and like little small incremental damage every now and then. But with Lexi, you just like punch them in the head, and if they die, they die. If they don't die, then
then you die.
Then you die. Yeah.
Yeah. I by the way, we won't get into it now, but you losing, like I know Prisms that never win against Rhinar. So and I'm just trying to think, like you should have an easy matchup. I think it's just you need to have a different strategy or sideboard for it.
So what they do is they side into auras, right? And they just play auras, and your only plan to beat them is to beat down the auras. But
no, do you race though?
No,
depends on the aura. Rhino auras, you got to be. From what I've learned, I've played at the match a few times, and I'm no expert, Yazi, but I think playing Prism auras as a Rhino player, at the start of the game, you go in ham, and then as soon as an impactful aura hits the table, you fuck it off. But there's lots of auras you don't care about.
Yeah.
You just have to ignore.
So genuinely, because I played Dory into Prism, which is worse because I have no 6 none, right? I have been winning it.
Yeah, because you've got it threatening on hits.
No, but so let me explain. But you can actually force them to have a turn off by going pop, which is super impactful. So here's what I'm trying to say. I think to win the matchup, this is like broad level. You need to know when to stop attacking auras, like ignore them, even the worst ones. But that's what I'm saying. You can't just go with Prism. You can't go, I'll kill auras, because at some point when you're killing auras, you run out of cards and momentum and die anyway. And you can't ignore the auras all game. Unless you get an absolutely...
That's the tricky thing about it.
Unless you get like...
Which is why it's so strong. I don't know how to
but
do it.
I think when you know, like if someone just shows you, this is... Like if you play that match against a good Prism and they... You just need to figure out the timing, is what I'm saying.
That's
it. We have a video idea, don't worry.
Medax.
We're thinking about just you can now play a 60 card deck with just 6 attacks now. So I was thinking about doing just a Medax deck.
Medax. I want to see the ultimate Rhino Medax deck.
No, you have to do it with Levia, because Levia only has all the 6 attacks. So I'm thinking about doing it. I want to do it for a video. Go to locals with just 6 attacks, the high premium power of just 6 attacks and just Medax.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, go on Prism.
No, that was it. I'm just saying, I think it's just picking your moment with Prism when you start ignoring, you ignore the auras. And you kill them. But
then you're still relying on RNG, then you're still relying on everything. Like if I see Blood Rush Bellows in hand when they put down 2 auras in a turn, I just go swing face and they just take the damage and then put down swing with 2 cards and then put down another aura. It's just game. Like that deck just you just can play so mindlessly that it doesn't matter. I played Prism. I know the ins and outs of Prism. I know how to beat a deck with Prism. It's just so stupid. You misplay once against Prism, you lose. That's it.
Yep, I'll agree
That's
with
true.
that.
Just once.
That's true.
agree with
And the decision is usually, is this going face or is this going into an aura?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's the decision.
I think with Brute, you just never go aura. Like, I think the only time you go aura is you pick the two that need to go. Because not everyone plays Genesis, but you can't leave that one out.
Yeah.
And you can't leave Merciful out. And I don't
Merciful's
think...
fine.
And maybe Ode.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
But still, it's just like, well, one, Reiner just doesn't have the actual damage, and the only reason why he has damage is with Claws and Bloodrush Bellows. So, like, as I said before, the only reason why I would play Claws is because it's a deck that I can't beat. So, like, originally beat. If I see 2 Bloodrush Bellows, like, turn 1, turn 2, it's game. I've won. I don't care.
Yeah.
But, like, you can't just...
You can't rely on that. I understand.
Where that deck can just, like slap auras on the table and then be like, all right. Because each aura should technically... Like, for an aura to, like make sense and, like, deal proper damage, each aura should deal 3 damage each. But these auras end up dealing, like, 6 damage each because they're just on the field.
Yeah, but, like, I see so many advantages you playing Reiner versus me on... Like, you can swing face to the point where they can't block because of Intimidate. So all their Spectrals... they can't build Spectrals against you.
Yeah.
And... when they come with an erudition, you can actually just throw one card at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just too dumb for that. Well, like, usually they go, like, crack
Fractal or whatever.
Yeah, crack Dreamweavers, and then they go, you have a Pierce Reality on the field, so now it's coming in for 7 with no Phantasm, and then, like, you can't fully block it because it's got Dominate. Like, nah, the matchup, just nerf it.
Look,
nerf Luminaria, so it doesn't work on everything.
Right now, it's the highest ranked hero. Like, and on LL points, it's by far the highest
and
now.
like, one thing the ass pass cast keeps saying is like, oh yeah, Brendan's like, it's not that strong. I'm like, it is that strong. It just is. Come on, man. You played the deck. You understand. Just play the deck.
Maybe that's what you need to do. Just play Prism till it LLs.
Oh, okay. Prism? Would you play Prism?
Oh, I've got a Prism deck in my bag, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Like, I know how to play the deck.
I've got one. I just don't enjoy playing it.
There's an unreleased video that I need to do where Fluke knows this. I went to an event dressed up as my, like, beautiful female self with my big titties and all that.
Oof.
And yeah, and the idea...
I thought this was your disguise. Is that what you're...
That's what I mean. There's so many Yazzies. That's female Yazzie. I was like one day going to be like, yeah, this is my girlfriend because, we're... but yeah, so I went out to a ProQuest and I was like, I'm going to play the most easiest fucking hero in the world and get top 8. I was one spot off getting top 8 with Prism.
That's what I did. I switched off Dory, picked up the deck in Melbourne, like no joke. I flew to the ProQuest in Melbourne, picked up the deck from Luke and Lee Fletcher, sleeved it, and then round 1 started.
Yeah.
Oh, big shout out to the Fletcher brothers.
They're amazing.
Oh, I love
them.
They're so cool.
They're OGs.
Oh,
they're
big,
so cool.
OGs.
Fletcher brothers are awesome.
Oh, dude, Luke's collection. Like, people don't realize, and they realize how much stuff the kid has. Like,
yeah, Luke, I love Luke.
He's shown me the whole thing. It's very impressive.
They're super cool. I wish I caught up.
They started day 1, but they also started day 1, and they're very good. Like, they have gold foil tunics, and
they have cold foils from back in the day. They were buying up things on that
they
sales
were
page.
very switched on. But I'm saying the fact I had 9 auras, and I forgot to attack with them, and I still won my first match. Yeah, it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it just shouldn't.
A misplay like that, like you got
it's 9. Enough Prism. Come on, man.
All right, we got to go. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, Yazi. What's the future?
What do you think of the podcast, Yazi?
Oh, bro, I love this podcast.
What's the Yazi channel? Let us know what's happening the next couple of months.
What do you want to do with it?
I just want, honestly, I want to do as much meta possible stuff that I can do. So, like, you follow everyone's, like, podcasts to know what their best stuff is. They're, like, the best of the best, how to play that. But they don't actually tell you. And I want to make my channel that. Their what's it called? their Patreon stuff just as my channel. That's what I want for the channel.
So you're saying the spikes are holding back from the Timmys, and you're going to give the Timmys some
there's a lot. Look, there's a lot of paywall stuff, but there's a lot of crap paywall stuff.
Yeah,
like some of these patrons that are like deck techs, like that is a crap deck. Like that's not going to win anything.
The amount of like other podcasts, I'm not, you know, we're not going to put us past that much under the table.
It's the best Flesh and Blood podcast. Like for playing, that's the one.
You need to be subscribed to their Patreon as well.
Yeah, which I am.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm not.
You should be. No, the value out of that is...
We'll just give you the content for free.
Don't shoot. That's why I'm shit of Flesh and Blood,
Hayden, gift the man a sub. Jeez.
But yeah, like that's kind of what I want for the channel. But like still keep my witty attitude. And, like I still want to stay true and not be... Like still be a little bit of a cunt to people if they deserve it. Or if they don't deserve it, I just want to make a laugh out of it.
Can I ask you something? Because I have this conversation often with like creative people. If you were making $500 a month off your YouTube channel, wouldn't you want to do it more?
Yeah.
But the reason I say that, Flesh and Blood's small, so people are willing to like give you a couple of bucks a month to help. You're the type of person who goes, I'll do it for free. That's fine. But see, what I did is I just opened up my... Like, you can give me $3 as a tip jar because I know... I'll feel guilty enough to make more content when I... But but if you're going to put good content out there, have a tip jar. It doesn't have to be like, listen, sell VB coasters. It doesn't matter. No. But you can do that. You can do the little merch thing. You can do... Like, you don't... But I'm saying you're known. You know how to play. You have been playing for a long time, more than most of us. Do the content you want to do. Have a way for money to trickle in.
Yeah,
just a small one.
I'll think about it.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
How to, like, honestly,
but I'll help you with that. That's easy because just do a playmat. Do something stupid. It doesn't have to be big. Like we both had playmats. His just auctioned off for like $60.
Yeah, I love it.
But dude, it doesn't. Do you know how much like he got the art done by a mate, and the playmat cost is nothing if you order them in bulk, and you like something where you go, you know what? This month I made a couple of $100. I upgraded my camera. Look, a couple of $100. I'm going to at least spend a day a week making a video. It just helps the motivation. I don't need the money.
Mate, Fluke can sell ice to the Eskimos and sand to the Arabs. So this is the man.
Dude,
you
my
need
channel
to
off
to.
ads makes $400 a month. Like,
wait,
why
really?
not? Yes, dude.
But I need to make content, man.
That's what I'm saying. But at some point, 400 is now. If it ends up being 4,000, like I'll have an editor. True. Like I'm not doing it because I need to eat, and you won't either. But if it's suddenly like enough money to pay the internet bill and stuff, it helps. And you're more motivated because you go, wait, like that video made $5. Next video makes $7. You just small steps.
I'll make more content. I've just been.
It's not even that. It's for you to want to do it. It's not like you get what I mean. It shouldn't be a chore.
So many ideas running through my brain constantly.
I believe it.
Like, you have no idea. Like, I wake up, first thing I think about is Flesh and Blood. I'm at work, I'm thinking about Flesh and Blood. I'm listening to podcasts while I'm at Flesh and Blood. Driving home, I'm listening to Flesh and Blood. That's my life. I've given up everything. I don't have a girlfriend right now because
I can fix that too, by the way.
No, I don't want a girlfriend. I want to play Flesh and Blood. Like
someone clipped that.
We've had issues in my life.
I ain't got time for that.
We've had issues in my life because I've played card games, because, like, you know, girls don't want a guy that's addicted to card games. Look, that's what I am, man. You don't understand. Like, this is what I understand.
I get it. That's why, like, it's not work.
Yeah.
And that's why if you make some money from it, it's you're not looking at going, crap, I need to make 10 more videos to pay my rent. You're just doing it, I got a little bit of money, a little bit more. And it also, by the way, when it comes to girls, there's a big difference between a hobby and a hobby that pays. There's a huge difference. Like, if you were a pro player, if you went and won Pro Tour, as an example, came back with $25K US, there's no girl in the world that tells you to stay home when you want to go play. Do they go, wait, you're breadwinning? No, I'm serious.
I'll be sitting there on the couch watching Stranger Things being like, oh, man, you this prison deck, you don't understand, man. It's so stupid. I hate it.
You just got to convince your girlfriend to play Prism. That's the solution.
We'll be in bed and I'll be like, man, you don't understand. Been listening to this podcast all day.
I could take this podcast to a new low right now, so I think we should end it because I could take this.
We
right
have to
down
end it because we got some people waiting. But
Yeah.
this is the content I want to see. I want to see the skit of you and your fake girlfriend complaining about.
Yeah,
Alright.
I want to see your Levy a blow up doll in bed with you having an argument about Prism.
100%.
Hey, we were this close to getting a body pillow of Levia. Don't worry, and Dash as well. But you know, we had to restrain ourselves. Yeah.
He's saying we. I don't know if he's talking about the other Yazzies or his brothers or what. I don't know. But I don't want to know. But appreciate it for coming, man.
Yeah, thanks,
And
bro.
also, like we wanted you to be like guest one. Like when we talked about the podcast about Yazzie has to come, but we want to have you more often. Like this isn't a one and done
I'll come
thing.
more often.
It's not a one and done
fuck
thing.
yeah.
Or even when you come up with something like this discussion was great. That's the whole point. So we come up with anything we want to talk about community
If
wise.
there's anything spicy, let me know.
100%.
But same with
I'll
you.
take it.
If you think of something really good
you hit
want
us
to
up.
talk
You
about,
go, boys. I want to come, and
Yeah.
we sit and have a chat. That's the whole point of this: is in person as much as we can.
local
Yeah.
community members, because
Yeah.
we
And I'd like to have you on twice before we have Hayden once, just so you can say.
Bro, I don't wanna-
The thing, what's crazy is Hayden watches the podcast, which I find very
Oh, no.
flattering. He's a very busy man, you know. But
I'm gonna have to apologize to
nah,
him
don't.
again.
The thing is, he's a Kiwi. Like the Aussie Kiwi mentality, we're a lot more laid back with this stuff. I think people might look at us like we argue, but there's a lot of love going around. Like even when
Yeah.
we disagree, there's a lot of love going around. The fact is, we all play flesh and blood. That's already like there's not much that can go wrong after sharing that. I don't think.
We need to end this, man. We're gonna keep going. We've said, oh yeah. this is
Anything
the
from
end.
you, Paul?
Just check Yahtzee out, please.
Oh yeah,
team,
we'll link him
support
below. I'm gonna link
support him.
that.
Support him.
100% support him. Link your PayPal. I'm kidding. We'll put up the speech for James White. Send me that link. I'll
Yeah,
put it
yeah,
in the
we'll-
description.
Yeah, I want to see. I
I'll
want to watch
cut it.
that.
I'll cut it.
No,
before
send
we
me
go.
the whole video, and then
Okay.
we'll figure
Alright.
out which part for people to watch. All right, guys, we're gonna head off. Thanks for watching. We're at 290 subscribers.
Cheers.
Hopefully, we hit 300.
Easy.
And yeah, thanks for watching. See you soon.
Peace.
Yeah, baby.